Thank you for joining us again for this not so critical update. It was
Yeah.
hopefully we legitimately think this time our last day without John, but he did send us one more kind of scathing video message that we'll share with you.
Yeah. Not very happy with him at the moment. We're going to have words.
And I think we set this up as kind of a fun AI show, a feel good AI show. Didn't necessarily play out that way.
I think, yeah, it was a fun story about somebody who was using ChatGPT to impersonate their father who had passed, very sadly.
Yeah.
But it was kind of
Very
making them feel
wholesome.
better. And then we talked about some other alternative methods of using AI. And it kind of got a little bit philosophical, a bit interesting.
Yeah.
A bit
Touched a little
weird.
bit on Peter's hope that in the future we'll be impregnating bots somehow.
Hey, that was a hypothetical question. Anyway,
Okay.
you tell us what you think. Also, just to say thank you to everybody who's subscribed recently. We really appreciate it, and we're getting close to 500.
This close.
So if you
this
could,
close to 500.
We'd really appreciate it if you'd hit that subscribe button. Anyway, enjoy the episode.
Enjoy the show. We've got our second AI story of the week. I think neither of them really like enraging us or causing us to fear for the future of humanity.
No, we love AI. Let's bring more AI.
Let's not go overboard. The real threat, I think, is deepfakes, as I'm all on the record with, but
they are.
We'll just worry about that
scary
when it comes up.
Yeah.
Apropos of nothing, I did get another message from John.
Oh, really?
That he asked us to play, and he is not happy with you and I, Peter, or you and me, I guess, Peter. Let me see if I can bring that up.
I'm so glad you corrected yourself there.
Yeah, thanks.
I can't believe you two shit sippers made it through the week without me, the absolutely totally real Johnny Third guy. Congratulations on not burning the house down while I've been away, you self-important blowhards. If there were a zoo for stupid people, you guys would be the main exhibits. I can't believe you're not both from Florida. Anyway, love you. See you soon.
Excellent. Oh my God.
Wow.
John. We love you too, man.
That was nuts. Yeah, I can't wait for him to come back, I guess.
That American phrase as well, the shit zippers. That's such a evocative word that really brings up an image in my, where it's kind of
I think the most offensive comment was, I can't believe you're not both from Florida. What the fuck, John?
It doesn't mean so much to me. I mean, fine, okay, Florida seems nice. Okay.
Does it? All right. At any rate,
I'm actually just watching the Netflix series Florida Man, so I'm kind of getting a sense of what it might be derogatory at the moment.
Yeah, it's going to be hard to have John back. I think it might take us a couple of days to.
We should probably make up like before we get back on air because you know we gotta go hash some things out.
He's been really aggressive.
Okay. Yeah, well, maybe it's the side effects of whatever steroids they're giving him for his operation.
Got a nice any now.
Yeah.
Belly button marble holder in his belly button.
Yeah. Right. Anyway,
should we do a show today?
So let's do a show. I saw this on Twitter and I loved it. There's a great account called Fesshole, and it's almost got 1 million followers. I'm really waiting for that day when they crack 1 million, and people confess things anonymously. And one of them was quite poignant, quite sweet. Can you read it out, please, Mike?
He says, "My dad passed away when I was 14 and was fairly famous." I assume the dad was fairly famous. I used ChatGPT and asked it to reply in the style of their father's name. He's given me everything from plumbing advice to consoling me after a breakup, even though he isn't here. It's really very wholesome.
Yeah. It's sort of, well, it verges on creepy, I'll be honest. I mean, I don't know if I would approve if my kids were to create an AI version of me to like just hang around after I'm gone. Like, what do they need me for in the first place? But hey,
or if you weren't gone,
sweet. Or if that would.
I'm hanging out with the version of you that I actually like. Dad, get lost.
Yeah,
that would be rough.
Oh my God, that's so many possibilities.
My kid creating a deep fake of me to say the things that they
Yeah.
want to hear.
Oh
Could
my
be
God.
rough.
What's going to happen with school permission slips in the future? Like, so it reminded me of some of the like mental health benefits that can come from GPT or AI bots. People who can use them for like journaling or for getting advice about some situations. The one thing I read about this week was that how, oh yeah, so bedside manner for some of the AI bots that were pretending to be doctors or were like acting as doctors was way better than actual humans. Because
Believe
they
it.
have unlimited patience.
Yeah.
You just say be
Yeah.
patient, and then they will always be. They have there's no triggers for an AI. Well, I mean, I don't know, I know, but there's no way to kind of like piss them off. They will continue to be polite no matter what
Yeah.
you throw at them.
Like you
But it
mentioned
was interesting.
the
Yeah,
attendance,
go
like
on.
if you're I don't know if you know, but it's fairly trivial to train somebody, like model somebody, synthesize somebody's voice based on a training set. Like if you did a YouTube
I
channel, if you had a YouTube channel, it would be very
yeah.
easy to find audio of you speaking to train a voice
Well, like
synthesizer to say whatever you
so I
want.
could do I could do that to you, for example.
No,
I don't
not
think
to me. It would be very difficult.
no. All right, you could do it. I mean, I know you would never do that, but maybe you could do that to me. But you're not going to, right? You would never
Highly
do that to me,
unethical.
would
I'm
you?
sure I
Yeah,
would
yeah,
never
yeah,
even
yeah.
try. I wouldn't know
Cool.
how to
I'm
begin.
glad you are such a
Mhm.
an
Mhm.
upstanding citizen and have such a moral core that would prevent you from doing anything
Absolutely.
that
Absolutely.
yeah,
Like to do that to a
creepy.
friend of mine, I just think would be really low. I don't know if
Yeah,
I could live with myself
no,
if I try to make somebody who I care deeply about look bad like that.
yeah. I'll say like dumb things.
Yeah.
Say
No,
stupid things.
that'd be a
Yeah,
really shitty thing to do.
yeah, God. Anyway, we started looking for some other alternative, in interesting ways of that AI is being used recently. And I remember this story that came up recently. So there's an influencer. I thought originally that she was an AI generated image, but apparently she's an actual person, and she's trained a bot which you could rent out to be your girlfriend for $1 a minute. And she's made 70 grand so far. Like when I read the story,
In
anyway,
about a week.
Yeah. And now that it's been hit all the headlines, I'm sure she'll make a lot more. Like, how do you feel about that? How do you like?
Well, I mean, this is kind of the fear I had of AI from the beginning, is that here's these guys paying to have a relationship with an AI that is likely only making whatever issue drives them to that in the first place worse. So if you're somebody saying like, oh, it's just a lark, I'm going to have fun and mess around with this for a few minutes just to see what I can make her say, la, 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 whatever. Okay, I guess. But people are like really getting invested in this emotionally, and it is not healthy.
Yeah, it is pitched as being your girlfriend for $1 a minute. But then this kind of things happens already. It's sort of like prostitution, but without the prostitute, right? But like in Japan, you can hire these companions that will go and just sit with you in a bar and just chat.
I think this is worse because not only are you not dealing with somebody who's not actually a girlfriend, you're dealing with somebody who's not even a human person. And
so it's not the
cannot overstate how relevant I think that distinction is every time we have these conversations.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely.
Really? Because to me, there's not much difference between if it's a real person and if it was a bot.
I mean,
if it's a real person that's getting paid to just be nice to me compared to a bot.
Our hardwired physiological responses to other human beings is not the same as any reaction we can ever get from dealing with a bot.
Okay, a real person that's paid to be nice to me online.
I mean, I brought up this example last time, but studies show that dealing with somebody on another real person on Zoom is not the same as dealing with another human person face to face. Our brains just do not react the same way.
Oh, okay, so that's my comparison then. A bot on Zoom versus a real person on Zoom.
I think then it's another step away, but I think I would say then it's another step worse.
Okay, all right, wow.
Because think about what a bot's doing. We talked about it like with the example of your father. Like you can't or not your father, I guess, if you were a father, this other example from
Yeah.
festival, right?
Yeah.
You're not
Yeah.
talking
It
to
wasn't
that
me. It wasn't
person.
my, yeah.
You're not actually
It wasn't
talking
me.
to that person.
Yeah. I yeah. I mean, in this particular case, they're fully aware of what's going on, and they're using it to comfort themselves in mundane situations. It's
I almost put that in the form of like consent to tracking. Are you fully aware? Well, you've been told, but if you're chatting with a bot online, there's no visual cues, there's no social cues, there's nothing to tell you that it's not another
I
person on
mean,
the
they
other
know what's
side.
going
It
on.
feels the same.
This is someone who actually did it deliberately, right? They created the AI of their
Oh yeah. I mean,
father.
this woman did, but the customers who use it know, just like people on the internet know they're being tracked.
Oh no, I was talking about the fest. Sorry,
Oh yeah, they did
the,
it. Yeah.
the fest. Yeah, because in that case, they actually went ahead and made that thing of their
Sure.
dad,
But
right?
if they did it of their dad while their dad was still alive so that they could have a relationship that they don't have in real life, I think you could argue that that is not healthy.
Okay, I think we're at the point where it's so new and so unstudied. I know that you're right. Something's have been studied about like the relationship between a person in the same room as you versus online interaction. But this whole thing with AIs is we don't have enough data. We don't know how it's going to affect people.
Yeah, and look, there's no unpopping the balloon. Uh, this is gonna
That's a
happen.
good one.
It's hard. I was just trying to come up with more as we go. I didn't want to reuse any of the ones from earlier in the week. It's already affecting us these ways, and it's going to keep affecting us. And it's not like we can say like, oh, this is bad for human relationships. We're going to stop doing this. No, we're going to keep doing it, and it's going to be a problem. And all the depression and suicide and low pregnancy rates and all these things that we're already seeing are just going to keep getting worse. And we'll all look around and say, oh man, I don't know how this keeps happening. That who could have seen this coming? So
Okay.
there we go.
Let me
I
ask
thought
you
we
a
were doing another fun
hypothetical.
episode today. Didn't I promise them no gloom and doom?
Let me just okay. I know we've got one other example of AI use, but let me ask you a hypothetical question, right? If you could inseminate a bot that was acting as
Peter, are you asking for a friend?
or have a bot inseminate you, like
Is this for our our after dark show on OnlyFans?
I'm thinking really far in the future. I'm
Okay,
thinking like
I think
100 years
this
in the
needs some
future
focused
where
attention.
this kind of thing most technology might be possible.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Do
So
you
it could either
understand how
be,
reproduction works?
yes, I know, but we can freeze sperm and we can freeze eggs and we can combine the two.
Mm-hmm.
And we can also have, we're 100 years ago, things were very different than they are now. So in 100 years, if we have some kind of like, I don't know, technology that enables this, where you could have an actual replacement girlfriend or boyfriend, replacement partner.
So
How would
you're
you feel about that?
proposing a future in which we have
Well, you could marry them, I
completely
suppose, yeah.
biologically compatible robots.
In a sense, I mean, biologically like inter you could biologically interact with these
So I guess if I look at it from the
devices.
other side, you say let's look at the ability to cybernetically enhance humans. At what point do they stop being human? It sounds like is kind of what you're asking.
No. I was wondering if you were going to say that that's okay. So if you
To
could
impregnate a
basically
bot.
simulate, yeah, you're saying that about low pregnancy rates and social interaction causing a decline of the human race.
Well,
Like if you
right. So I mean, this is why I think it's similar because could we create a bot that's similar enough to being a human that it counts, or could a human turn enough into a bot that it doesn't count? Right. Like those are kind of the two sides of the same coin, I think.
I don't know how similar they are though. I think one is AI bots completely taking over, and one is us, not having. What do you
Will
think?
I
What's
have
your
a
immediate
choice
reaction?
as to whether I inseminate the bot or not? You just said completely taking over. It sounds like that might just
Well, you
be.
could use a condom now or not today,
okay.
right?
Okay, but I'm definitely having
It's up
sex
to
with the
you.
bot. Is the point?
Well, 100 years from now, yes, you definitely are having sex with bots.
Okay. All right. All right. Yeah. I see how I didn't see that on Star Trek, but I guess we know how Peter's future plays out. If he has anything to do with it.
Okay.
We could probably wrap it up. The one other fun case we found was using ChatGPT as a dungeon master. And the guy who wrote the article is like, ChatGPT is not going to do better than I do. Okay, good for you. You're the best dungeon master. Whatever. I don't know Brian Childs. I'm sure he's a fine dungeon master. But I think ChatGPT, maybe not today, but ChatGPT 4.2 could be the best dungeon master on the planet.
100%.
Yeah.
100%. I'm not threatened. Like, he's definitely threatened because he's put it in the title that he's not threatened. That's like, schoolboy era. But
just wait. ChatGPT 4.5 says, "Hold my beer."
Yeah, right. And I actually would genuinely like to mess around with a GPT DM. I think it'd be kind of fun. I think in games, especially in you can have games like Diablo are procedurally generated. They create the roguelike. If you had a real storyline that was innovative and created for you at the same time, that would be amazing. And that's basically what D&D is, right?
Yeah.
As a player, you have a DM that tells you what happens when you do things, and they invent most of that. They have a basic structure and storyline that they guide you towards, but yeah, it's a lot of fun.
I wonder, we should see some studies on how many game masters across all the systems are going to be put out of work by large language models like ChatGPT. I mean, this could be a real problem because what are those people going to do if they're made irrelevant?
Maybe they would just play the games themselves. I don't know. But yes, no,
who would they argue about the rules with? I guess is what I'm most concerned about.
Each other. There'll be like an underground for dungeon masters who exiled dungeon masters. There'll be a DM underground which has like bans AI. I think there's a movie in this actually. I reckon there could be.
Will it be legal to play Dungeons and Dragons not using an AI game master?
In the dystopian future where there are no more human dungeon masters, the DM underground will rise up, and there'll be the rebellion where they take over, and the evil overlords will be defeated.
Yeah.
Maybe by being seduced. Yeah.
Of course, if the game masters are forced to mate with the bots, then they probably would not have as much of a problem with it.
Something to think about. So but listen, if anybody has an opinion on this, I would be curious to hear about it in the comments. Or and thank you so much to everybody who's commented before, because we really appreciate it, and it's great to chat to you guys.
All right, good show, Peter. See everyone tomorrow. Hopefully John will be back.